brand new episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast. I'm your host, Corinne. This is my co-host, Maggie. And together we run a very busy business of procuring wonderful wool, woolly wool for everybody. And it's busy. It's Monday morning after daylight savings and I'm dragging. How are you?
I'm also dragging.
Yeah, it's a little bit rough this way around when you have to put your clocks forward. But
I find too, like every year as I get a tiny bit older, it just gets a little bit harder. And this morning I was genuinely like on the struggle bus of like, did we go forward? Did we go backward? Where are we and what time is it?
I know. I found myself trying to go to bed really early last night and I still couldn't get up this morning.
Right.
So anyway, we are here and happy to be here with you. Hope you're doing well and that you've had a good couple of weeks. I have lots of knitting adventures to tell you about.
Nice.
Yeah, well,
sort of.
Yeah, adventures is a nice word. But anyway, we'll get there. And what do we have for housekeeping before we get going?
Should we tell them who we are? We kind of told them who we are.
Go ahead.
So we are the Woolly Thistle.
Yes.
And we own and operate. I guess you did sort of say this.
Yeah.
An online yarn store with a storefront in New Hampshire.
Yes, we're in New Hampshire, right? We're 89 and 91 cross.
Yeah.
So all roads lead to the Woolly Thistle, which is kind of fun. All roads being the few roads that are up here in New Hampshire to start with.
We do have a really sort of big and vibrant online community that you can find on Facebook and on Ravelry. It is free to join, and we have lots
Wonderful
of cows,
places.
Lots of knitting, lots of encouragement.
Very friendly bunch.
I think too, like if you're looking for a happy place,
yes,
I do. I like to say that our Facebook and our Ravelry groups are really welcoming and happy communities.
Yep.
And I would invite you to check us out if you're looking for knitting friends.
Yeah, that's true. I think we have a very lovely group of people in Ravelry and in Facebook, both happy, friendly, inviting, welcoming, inclusive, all
encouraging.
Of that. Yeah. Okay, so that's who we are and what we do. And Maggie, why don't you maybe? Well, I'm going off piste already. So let's get back on.
It's okay.
Sometimes it's harder to just follow the plan.
It is. We have a script,
which I'm happily ignoring. Yeah. Well, why don't we talk about who's on the show today?
Okay. Today on the show we have Renee, who is Renee writes our email content.
Aren't they wonderful?
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And Renee is discussing a test knit that she's doing for a very beautiful vest.
Yes.
And just sweater knitting in general.
Yes. Yes. And then we have Caitlin.
Caitlin is talking about the colorwork hat, the brioche hat that she just finished up, and some upcoming sweater knitting plans.
Yep. And Caitlin is our engagement coordinator, and she works with a lot of other businesses and designers and affiliates and things like that. So that's her role right now. And we also have a postcard from Rachel from Farrell, where she's actually showing us some beautiful weather for a change. Which is really nice. So that's what we've got coming up for contributions.
Yeah.
I do want to do some housekeeping, if that's okay. Send us your videos if you would like to be a contributor as a one-off on the podcast. We would love to have you. And you can just go to the website, to the Connect menu item, and you'll find a form in there to submit, and then we'll get you on the show, which would be really fun. We love people showing off what they've knitted with their Woolly Thistle purchases. Free shipping for your orders over $99 within the United States. We're doing the best we can with that, and it's $4.95 if under $99. And check the show notes down below. We link everything we talk about down there. So if you have questions, go down there and it will take you to where you need to go to find out more. I think that's it for housekeeping, except that we're no longer doing ads. We do like to mention this because many videos have ads on them. We do not do that. We don't monetize this, but we ask that you support the shop by telling your friends, watching, of course, leaving a comment, coming to the shop and checking out what we've got there. That all helps support this Shopcast. Why don't we start with a winner?
Great.
Were you ready for that?
I was just so busy listening. I was like, here we are. So our first winner today of a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle is at Crisis. What Crisis? 40.
Great name.
Love it. Your discussion of all knitting is good knitting gave me the courage to rip back a colorwork yoke that wasn't bringing me joy. Now I have happily started again. I am so happy to hear that.
I am so happy, and stay tuned for my stories of that.
Great.
Yeah.
What an adventures are headed our way.
We're like a crisis. Yes, crisis.
Yes. So if you can send us an email at info@thewoollythistle.com, put prize winner in all caps, and we will get you your $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle.
Yes, that's all you need to do. And if you too would like to be in the running, just leave us a comment down below. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. You can find it all down at the bottom. Do that, and you will also be in the running next time for Caitlin, who picks at random our winners. So congratulations to Crisis Not Crisis. That is the best name I've heard in a long time. Yeah. No, Crisis What Crisis, yes. Yeah. Okay, so
what are you wearing? Would you like to tell us what you're wearing?
I'm wearing an oldie but a goodie. So this is in Plotulopi, and it's the, is this the Rusty? This is the Rusty cardigan, which is no longer available, at least it hasn't been for a while. And I knit this years and years ago. I knit 2 of them. I liked it so much. So this is knit in Plotulopi, which is the unspun lopi. A little bit of color work here. It's so lightweight and very warm that I do really enjoy wearing this on colder days, which I think today's actually going to be warmer, but so far so good. And this is an oldie. I had it a long time, and it is quite fluffy. And yeah, really enjoy it. So worn this for years and years and years, and I love the buttons on it. The buttons kind of go, I can't remember where I got them, probably on Etsy or somewhere like that. But yeah,
you knit that maybe
years ago.
Yeah,
like
at least 8
maybe. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm still wearing it, so yeah. Gotta wear your knits. You gotta wear your knits. Okay, what are you wearing?
I am wearing, this was a joint project.
Yeah.
The bulk of this sweater was knit by Corine. Yeah. This is the Sammal sweater by Locatelli.
Yeah.
It's knit in Tuku fingering weight.
Yeah, and it's lovely.
And it has this lovely little cable here.
And all this seed stitch or moss stitch.
Yeah, so you knit the body of this on some travels years ago.
Years ago when I took my kids to Scotland, and we were on trains, planes, ferries, you know, the whole thing.
Yeah, and you got as far, you did the whole body, and I guess discovered that it was not quite going to fit you.
It was not going to fit me. I just, it's straight up and down.
Yeah,
and I am
so
not
it
that.
it just sat.
Yes.
And then you brought it in one day, and I took it on a vacation a couple of years ago, and I finished the sleeves.
Yeah. Do you like it?
I do. I really like it. It's really comfy.
Fingering.
It is surprisingly warm.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised.
It's
but
a woolen spun.
It's a woolen spun fingering weight yarn, and it just looks very lightweight.
Yeah.
And actually we have a skein right here. And it is. It's just like, I don't know. It's quite cozy and warm. And I have been reaching for it. I have not yet put buttons on it.
Yes, I didn't do that for you.
I will at some point.
Yeah.
But
until then.
But yeah, I took a note from Jill here in the shop, who has worn a couple of cardigans pre-buttons, because she's like, why should I wait for buttons? So I'm doing like Jill and just wearing it.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but it's quite, especially when it is going to be a little warmer later.
In between,
I think that this is a nice sort of
layering
mid-season.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're getting the wear of it, because it literally sat behind my chair for quite a long time until I realized
I think it's really funny too. Like, I didn't do a swatch or try to meet your gauge at all.
And you did?
You just, you can't tell a difference at all. There's no line. It just.
Right. Wonderful.
I just went with whatever needle the pattern said. And
the joy of
I guess
Tuku.
it'll work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it did.
Yeah. I really enjoyed knitting that. I really did. I was telling a story at, I think it was at Knit Night the other night, that when I was knitting this, the ball of yarn rolled under the table on the train that me and my kids were on, and the dog sitting across with his owner across the other side of the table was eating my ball of yarn with unbeknown to me.
Yeah.
And then I let him keep it. So
yeah, it was a little extra slobbery.
Yes, but not knitted in. So
yeah.
Well, that's what we're wearing, Maggie. What else? I just mentioned Knit Night. We had our second ever Knit Night. So if you're local and you came out, thanks for coming out. It was really nice. We're enjoying doing that, so we'll continue with that. And the Colorwork Cal is almost over.
Yes.
I think by the time they're watching this. So finish up your colorwork stuff, because we will be drawing prizes soon, and we've had really generous, wonderful prizes. So be sure to get your FO posted where it needs to go. We will have a list of all the prize givers and their donations on the website, so please check that out. They make this much more exciting, which is really nice. We have our next knit along in the works now.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a shawl cal, you might have heard. Sign-ups for the shawl cal are open now. You just need to find the link down below and go sign up. And the actual knitting starts on March 28th. So I am looking forward to this one. I have a shawl in me and I've picked and I've got my yarn.
Do you want to show people?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I might have shown this already, but I'll show it again.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
This is in Scottish Yarn Festival.
People might have missed an episode.
Yes, they might. Or you
never
might be
know.
new here. Welcome.
Yeah.
So this is the All About the Ruffle shawl by Carolyn, Holbrook, woolly needle, and I just love this. I love everything about it. It's knitted in Scottish Yarn Festival. Look how sort of bouncy and scrumptious. And then this ruffle just kills me. So yes, I'm going to be knitting this in the this colorway. Duncan.
Yeah.
So
it's really beautiful.
Scottish Yarn Festival.
Such gorgeous yarn.
It is beautiful yarn, and we had Eva here, who is the owner of Scottish Yarn Festival Yarn. She was here in January, and she did a lovely presentation to the folks that came out that night. But yeah, I'm going to be knitting this. This is hopefully a mindless, easy knit with just miles of garter stitch, which is so squishy. I'm ready for this. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Have you decided what you're knitting?
I think I'm going to knit the Tara shawl by Gudjonsdottir. It's from her Shetland Trader 3 book. There was somebody at knit night last night wearing it, and I was watching Anne at Caprine Cottage, and she's knit like a little series of them, which is really, really cute. Pretty. They're just lovely. I've liked the color choices, and I have plenty of JNS and fingering weight in my stash that I think it would be really quick. I have another sort of scarfy shawl that I've been wearing more this winter. There's something about that length.
Yeah.
But I don't really enjoy knitting a lot of scarves.
Right.
So I think that'll fill a nice sort of need in my wardrobe.
Great.
And it has that razor shell.
Yeah.
I really like knitting that.
Yeah, you do. I get.
Once you get going, you got to get it established, and then it's not so bad.
That setup round, no TV, no nothing. You concentrate.
Yeah.
It'll save you hours.
I've turned my audiobook off for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I think I'm knitting.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Unless something else takes over. But
well, that's it. I feel very committed. When I first saw this shawl, Carolyn sent us the sample we have, and that was it. That's what I want to knit. And I've been having to wait for this to come along because I want to knit it for the cow. Okay, let's see. For our locals, a quick mention that Craft Studies' first annual winter make-along is underway, and you can make any yarn or fiber related project and finish it by April 5th. So if you're casting on your shawl, you might have to knit really fast, but maybe your colorwork stuff will fall in this time window. And Craft Studies is a local business here that does a lot of teaching of classes. I learned more about my sewing machine at that class, which I loved. Have you ever taken any?
I have not.
Oh, you need to. It's really good. They have great teachers. They do everything from jewelry to, sewing and spinning and woodworking and all of that. Anyway, that is going on. And Saturday, March 15th, which is tomorrow if you're local, we have the shop hop with them. So you can come here at 10 and then head down to Craft Studies and Junction Fibre Mill. We're doing a little thing together. So come on in, and we might even give you a tour of the shop when you're here. We'll take you in the back and things like that. Not many people get to go there, so it might be worth coming out for that. So let's see. More details on their website. We'll put that link there. And I think that's all for local news right now. And what else do we want to talk about? We haven't gone to a segment yet.
No, let's go to a segment.
Okay, let's go to Caitlin. Caitlin is showing us her finished colorwork project, which is brioche, and it looks fantastic. See you on the other side.
Hi everybody, it's Caitlin, and I'm happy to be here on another Shopcast with you. I have a random bunch of stuff in front of me here to talk to you about, what I've been making and what I plan to make. So yeah, let's just get into this random group of stuff. I'm wearing the Island to Island vest. It's a Mary Jane Mucklestone pattern, which is in the Grand Shetland Adventure Knits book, published by Lina. It's Mary Jane and Gudrun Johnston collaborating on that book. I made this for our vest knit along last spring. We're planning on another vest knit along this spring, starting at the very end of May. So yeah, kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah, I made mine in mostly Rauma Finullgarn with some Jamieson and Smith 2-ply. This is the only vest I've ever made and the only one I remember having in my wardrobe since I was a kid, and I really love it. Yeah, it's nice to have some wool on, but still a lot of like freedom of movement, and yeah, a lot of fun. So I'm thinking about our colorwork accessories knit along, and then the upcoming shawl knit along. So I wanted to show you projects related to those, and then 2 other random things, 3 that I'm also working on. So yeah, the colorwork accessories knit along is going to be finishing up, I think, about a week from when this episode goes live. I just finished my project, and so I wanted to show you that. This is the Harlow worsted hat by Andrea Mowry. It's my very first brioche project, and I knitted this in WoolDreamers Mota as the white, and Making Tracks by Junction Fiber Mill DK in Vermont Vice, kind of this pink color changing yarn. I knitted the brim an extra 3 inches so that I could fold it. I get a better fit on hats when I have the option of folding them to kind of change the height. This is probably one of the bigger hats I've made. It's pretty loose, really squishy, and yeah, the brioche was really fun to learn how to do. So you can also wear it inside out if you like the look of that better. The decreases look a little less prominent, I guess, on the wrong side. But then you've got the brim that has the sort of brioche front side look to it. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, my 3-year-old kept asking, is that for me? So I've already picked out some yarns in colors that he really loves and chose, and we'll make another one of those in the smallest size. I knitted the largest size. So yeah, colorwork accessories knit along project done. Next I'm looking ahead to the shawl knit along, and I have sort of a wishful thinking plan and then maybe more of a safer plan, depending on how the next few months go for me and the other projects I have in my life. So my wishful thinking plan is I have always wanted to make the Papillon shawl. It's by, I think, Marina Knits. It's 10 years old now, and I first came across this shawl. It was hanging on a wall at the back of a booth at Vogue Knitting Live in New York City, and it blew my mind how a knitted project like that was possible. I'd never seen something with short rows like that, and it was just gorgeous. It still looks intimidating. I still don't know if I have the mental capacity for that kind of a project with all the counting it will require at this point, but that's my wishful thinking. So I was looking at my stash and came up with what I would use if I do end up tackling this project. So I've got a skein of Mondim. This is from Retrosaria. It's a sock yarn, but 100% wool, really good for other stuff too. I've seen designers make sweaters in this yarn. The shawl calls for 100-gram skein of the kind of contrast color, and then 200-gram skeins of a main color, which is the color changing one that kind of ends up being sort of the filled in parts of the shawl. I have these hand spun skeins that I made years ago. It's 2 braids of dyed fiber from Three Waters Farm. There's this colorway and this colorway. I guess I should have it this way. And then I applied some of both to the to be the middle skein. So this is more than enough for that shawl. I don't know which of the skeins I would start with and transition to. I think it'll fade, you know, into itself pretty well. So that's kind of my wishful thinking. My kind of backup plan is to do something with a little bit less counting and mind work. And that had me thinking about this shawl, which I made 2 years ago for the knit along. It's also short rows and also a solid main color, and I used hand spun for the contrast color changing. This is called the Bouquet Shawl by Linnea Ornstein. She has a whole bunch of designs that have short row kind of flowers like this. So I thought maybe I could find another one of her patterns. I don't think this yarn option is going to be enough of the main color or the solid color for most of her designs. So I might go back to my bins or the Woolly Thistle website and see. That one was really fun and still short rows, but less of the counting. Other couple random projects. I wanted to show you something I finished recently. I hadn't mentioned this because it's not exactly Woolly Thistle related, but it is in my knitting world at home. I just finished this sweater for my son. This is Amy Christopher's Eastwood. It's a cardigan from years ago. It was knitted in pieces and then seamed. So I made like 2 front pieces and a back piece and then the arms separately and seamed it all together. The original has the arms in a different color, so it gives sort of a baseball sleeve look, but my son wanted it all in the same color. And then he really wanted a zipper. I think this was inspired by Gru, a character from the Minions and Despicable Me, who has a zipper apparently. So this was the big hurdle with this project, was figuring out how to sew a zipper onto my knitting. I've never done that. It went okay. I wouldn't say, I think next time I would do hand sewing only, because once I did the machine knitting, it just kind of, the seam sort of jumps across the knitting rows in a way that doesn't look completely neat. So maybe I would just hand sew it next time. But the trickiest thing to figure out was my knitted piece was done and then I had to buy a zipper to fit, but the zipper sizes, like lengths, are kind of set inches, you know, incrementally. And the zipper I had to buy was a little too tall for the sweater, so I had to trim it at the top. But then my trick that I couldn't figure out was how to keep the zipper from like zipping all the way up off the top. Because this is a plastic zipper, I didn't have like a little metal staple that came with it that I could just move. So what I ended up doing is just sewing, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on black, I just sewed kind of a whole bunch of just sewing thread kind of over in between the teeth where I wanted it to stop. And that's enough to stop the needle from coming off. So anyway, part of the learning process. I am so close to finishing a sweater for someone else in my life. My husband is waiting very patiently for this spice cardigan to be done. I have like 3 more rows and then an I-cord bind off, and then to sew on buttons and maybe elbow patches. And this is in WoolDreamers Mota. It's in a gray and kind of a sage green, very subtle color work. Big shawl collar. And yeah, gonna have buttons. The buttonholes I think are over here already made. So very close to done with that one. And then I have my next project lined up because I always like to have my next plan. So I have swatched for the High Peak sweater by Liv Ulven, and this is in Manchelopi, my first time working with unspun yarn. So this is the swatch. I got gauge and just had kind of a thought on kind of going ahead with the full sweater plan. I think the thing I've noticed about knitting with unspun yarn, it went well for me. I don't think I could have pulled much more tightly on the yarn, you know, as I was forming the stitches, to get like a tighter gauge than what I got here. because it's unspun, I'll just grab the plate here. Because it's unspun, it doesn't have as much strength in the yarn. So you want to make sure you're not putting too much tension on it, either as you're pulling it off of the plate or as you're kind of pulling it through your stitch onto your needle and tightening it up. So I maybe could have still gotten away with going down another needle size or two if I had a gauge issue. But yeah, this is about as tight as I could imagine it getting. And I think this is 18 stitches over 4 inches. But that did have me also thinking, I noticed as I was knitting this, that because of the unspun nature of it, the yarn sort of flattens itself out onto your needle as you're knitting. It doesn't hold its round shape once it's under a little bit of tension, like within a stitch on your needle. So I think my experience knitting the swatch was okay with the kind of default wooden needles that I tend to use, but I was thinking about how different needle types can really affect your knitting experience with a yarn like this. So I just wanted to pull out 2 different needles. These are both a size 6. This is from the Chowgu Shorties, and this is just a DPN. I don't know what brand. I don't know if you can tell from here, but the Chowgu is much pointier than the DPN. And I think that in this case, the sharper needle is going to end up working better in my favor because it'll be easier to get into the kind of flattened out stitch on the needle. So that's just a little kind of tip about needle tips I had for you. You know, if you're not having the best experience with a yarn, try switching your needle and see if the yarn behaves in a better way on a different needle. All right, I think that's it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the Shopcast. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Caitlin, we love your hat. It's really, really nice. You did a great job with it. I still haven't attempted brioche, and yours is making me think that maybe I would like to do that. So I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. And thank you, Caitlin, for being here. Okay, let's talk about shop news, shall we? We've got some
We haven't talked at all about what we're knitting. Do you want to talk about what you're knitting?
I guess
we've totally
that was a Freudian slip, I think. Where no, I don't.
Well, here,
but let's do it.
You want to show?
No, you do yours.
Mine is pretty quick. I only have one thing. I've been ignoring everything else and just working on my
monogamy
sweater. Yeah, which is a little weird for me. I have been spinning more at home too. So
Maggie is a beautiful spinner. Her spun yarn is
I feel
beautiful.
like I've neglected my spinning them over the last year, so I'm using March as a okay, I'm gonna get back into it.
Leaping into spinning
I meant to bring a finished yarn, but I did not because I forgot all about it because the time changed. So I finally I am there. I am at the point now where I can move on to the next step.
Look at those
cables pop.
Beautiful.
So it's a little off center here. I like showing it centered.
Okay. And then
this way. There we go.
okay,
Sorry.
and then hold it up close.
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Gorgeous, Maggie.
I am so happy with it. It's not even funny.
Are you enjoying the knitting of it?
I'm really enjoying the knitting of it. I'm surprised. I got to the part last night where
it's adorable.
Now I need to do the next steps, and I was reading it, and it made very little sense.
So what kind of shaping?
And I'm sure part of it was just because I was tired.
Yeah.
Like, this time change knocked
Is
me
it
out
a
my
set-in
mind.
sleeve or what?
I think it is a set-in sleeve. So you mostly I think the next steps are that I'm gonna have to decrease some stitches on the side and do some armhole shaping, and so it's gonna go to being knit flat.
You're about to lose stitches.
Yeah, I think I actually did lose a stitch marker at home because the cat found one. And it was this colored. So, so the pattern it was very clear. It's very straightforward. I was just very tired, so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a smart woman and put this aside.
Down. Yeah.
So I'll attempt it tonight when I'm not quite as tired.
Yeah. It's
And,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's really, really, I'm so happy with it.
I will say
It feels so squishy.
that I think for this, it does, and the wool is beautiful, isn't it? It's going to
is.
just be really nice to wear.
So I've been
Next
knitting.
to skin even, I would wear that.
I've been knitting this with, I don't know if I have the book with me. I do have the book with me. So this is knit in Rauma Fivel, and it is from this booklet, the Rauma 425 booklet.
Yeah.
We have more stock on the way. I think by the time this lands here, because a lot of people, a lot of you are on the back in stock for this book, and I know why, because it's a great book.
Yeah.
It should be here soon. So.
I'd like to knit this one.
I know.
Very plain, big,
Big slits up the
but
side.
very, very wearable. And
Yes.
this one too is lovely on the cover.
Yeah, and
Loads of
then
good
there's
knits.
another one too. There's a cardigan with lots of cables, and I want to knit that one too. Apparently I've been bit by the cable bug. I can't find it. Maybe it's in the back. There we go. Oh my gosh. So it's a little more oversized on her than I'd like it to be, but that's the nice thing about knitting, right? Is you can make it to fit how you want it to fit.
Yeah. That's a drop shoulder, just noticing.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'll just follow the instructions. And hope for the best.
I just followed
And
the
hope for the
instructions.
best.
So-
And I convinced my sister to knit this with me. That way, if I get stuck, I'm not alone.
She can walk you through it because she is a cable
Yeah, and
knitter.
she's just about at the same point as me, too.
Great.
So if I find I'm
They're
struggling, I'll be like, hey.
And you're both knitting it in the same yarn.
We're
but
both
different
using
colors.
Rauma Fivel. She's
Yeah.
using a really light purple.
Yeah.
So she's knitting it in color 17.
That is going to pop.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
light
you can
color.
really, like, especially the light colors, you just
Yeah.
see everything. It's
Yeah.
really, really beautiful.
Yeah, but you were worried about not seeing all the cable patterns,
Yeah.
but you can.
Yeah,
I mean, that is going to be so good.
I figured you'd see the cables. I was worried about like the texture that falls in here, but
It's very
you
Ralph
can-
Lauren, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
it's very classic.
Yeah.
My older kids were home this weekend, and my oldest, I was showing her. I'm like, look what I'm making, and she's like, ooh.
Oh, yeah, I could do with a bit of that there. Yeah.
So
Nice.
I think she was surprised it's not scratchy. Yeah, I know, right?
Is that
Silly
all you're
kid.
knitting on, or are you knitting?
That's all I've been knitting on. Like I did knit on, like during knit night, I knit on my Estelle sock, but I'm not yet done with it. Like
Right.
nothing else has really moved forward
Right.
enough to be exciting.
Well, let me tell you, I have been knitting up a storm this week.
Yes.
And ripping it back. And knitting some more and ripping it back. So I think this might look very similar to what I had before.
That's okay.
So I think this is sort of where I was before. I'm knitting mine in Brusca by Retrosaria.
So what's the pattern you're knitting?
The
'Cause you're not
Billy-
knitting the same.
No,
thing.
the Billy Cardigan. Oh, sorry, by
Sorry, Norland.
Sari Norland. I knew the name, I just couldn't find it in my
That's
mind
okay.
palace. And it's beautiful. I love the cable work. So this is one, let's see, I think I'll end up, I'm knitting top down.
Yeah.
I think that's part of my problem. I would have preferred to knit this bottom up. But we're top down. And it's all on one needle, so it's hard
Although,
to show.
when you were picking it out, did you know it was top down?
No.
No. Oh.
No, I just,
Okay.
what really matters to me is that it's a raglan construction in the shoulders. I didn't
Okay.
want to have a drop shoulder. I
Okay.
would have taken a sit and sleep, but I didn't even find that.
Okay.
But I wasn't looking for that. I was looking for raglan. So this is like the only raglan cardigan I could really find that is in cables, and I like it. It's nice. But I have been extremely particular in my own little way about how it's looking, and I am staying true to form. I'm ripping back if I don't like it.
It's really, so I like that. That's the
Hold it
back.
up close. I think they need. There you go. That's the back.
It's so pretty.
It really is, and it's a joy to knit. I'm really enjoying the yarn, the needles, and the pattern, or the finished knitting of the
Right.
pattern. The pattern itself is great. She is obviously very skilled with the amount of technical stuff that's going on as you're shaping this with cables going on. But I'm finding it a slog to get through the pattern. I almost feel like I need to rewrite it in a language that makes sense to me, which I might end up doing.
So it's interesting, right? Like the challenge of one of the challenges of this, I would think, like the benefit of knitting it bottom up is that you can get used to establishing the pattern and where everything goes.
Right.
Before you have to do any shaping or decreasing.
And I am straight into the shaping.
Yeah, you're straight into the shaping while also growing. Like it looks like there's a cable there and a cable there with a center
another one
cable.
there.
Yeah, so
there's like 2 growing. Yeah. So on each side. So there's a lot going on, and I think it's just a challenging knit for me. Other people might make it and be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But I haven't knit cables in ages. And also I think
really pretty.
Thank you. I think there's a lot of directional increases that you want to make look really nice, and it's my own fault. I should just go onto YouTube and look how to do these things properly, but I don't, and then I don't like what I do, and then most lately there's also increases in the written instruction that are in addition to the increases on the chart. So trying to make sure that you get through a whole line of all these different types of increases is really playing with my head. So I have not been able to do it on track, and then I'm off track, and then I rip out. So there's been a lot of knitting. I could probably do this in my sleep wrong, but not right.
It feels like the patterns we're knitting are almost like on the extreme opposites. Like mine will just say decrease X many times in pattern.
Right.
And whereas yours is giving you copious details.
Yes, and no shade on Sarah Norland's pattern at all. She knows what she's talking about. This is challenging to me, just me, and but I mean
there is a lot going on. So I think if you haven't done that in a while,
I will want to wear this. So I want to make it that I'm happy with it and not just sort of thrown together. So you can see that I've gotten better. I really didn't want untidy. See, there's a little bit there. That sort of thing really annoys me.
You
won't notice it, but
I didn't notice that at all.
But if it was full of that, you would. You've got to have your own barometer of what you're willing to put up with, and what you're willing to let go. Yeah. So I'm a bit of
I am
fanatic.
looking for mistakes here. And
well, they're not there because I redid it.
Right. Yeah.
But so this is just a slow go. But really I am almost to the point where I think the increases are coming to an end. I just want them to end as they should. Right. And not this side is still going and this side is So I've been a bit of and I've been monogamous on that. I did start knitting a sock at knit night because I was not about to pull this out and start knitting on it. That is not social knitting for me yet. I think once the
once
shaping,
you're just straight,
then that's fine, because you actually become really aware of how to do each of the cables. And what you need to do. I still though need the chart to tell me when to do the cable. I find that really hard to do that by eye. I might have overshot or undershot.
The Estelle socks that I'm knitting have the cable going down the foot. Yeah. And I've been doing that by eye, and I don't recommend it.
No, you think it should be
it's going to be in my sock, so if it's off a little bit, honestly, that is not bothering me. If it were off on the sweater, though, that would drive me insane. So I think part of it is nobody's going to see the part in my sock.
Right.
In my shoe.
Exactly.
So if it's off a row, I don't really care.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
I could live with that.
On the sweater, and I have tape that I'm keeping track, and I'm just moving it.
Yes.
Because I can't eyeball it.
No, and when I was trying to eyeball it, I would end up in different places, different lines on different charts, and it's like, what am I doing? So it's been a very long time since I really did an all over cable.
Yeah.
And I will enjoy it. Eventually. I do enjoy knitting it. I just don't enjoy that I'm not right at the end of the section or whatever. And I'm like, oh, come on. I've tried really hard. So I've got all the stitch markers in, but even just increasing, within the stitch marker to start a new section, getting that to look nice. I've been really challenged with that, and I want it to look nice. So, but I did this before when I knit the Glenfiddich cardigan. That had, I think they call them contiguous sleeves, where they're sort of fake set in, but you do it with short rows.
Okay.
And I remember the pattern itself, it looked kind of untidy here. And I spent days figuring out how to get a nice line, both front and back, because you're doing different things, and left and right. And I did it. And I'm really proud of that. And I love wearing it. It satisfies my need for nice crisp edges.
Right.
And but I'm a bit of a terror with that kind of stuff. I have to say, just for me. not judging anybody else. This
Right.
is just for me. I will spend hours nitpicking.
I do
till
think
it's the way I
that
want it.
personality wise, you seem to find it quite satisfying
Yeah.
to sort of rip it back and do it again.
Yeah.
Like
well, I'm
if you're
teaching
not
myself
happy with
something
it,
too.
yeah, you'll
yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah. So I do see it as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
The hard
That's good.
way.
I think too, like so many of us, like I know I've knit on things where I'm like, it'll be fine, it'll block out, and you just keep going, and then you're not happy with it.
Yeah. That is
it's
something.
better to just acknowledge it sooner and rip it back.
You just made me think.
Move on.
For all that, I haven't checked gauge. What is wrong with me?
I don't know.
So I will.
I don't know.
I need to have enough to check gauge, right? That's what I'm going with.
Maybe you do now.
Yeah. Well, I will check it tonight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is.
And you had, I know,
ridiculous.
I thought we had chatted about this one. So have you washed it at all?
I did, but it was down here probably.
But you said it didn't really bloom much. There wasn't much change in the yarn.
No, but I think you can see that maybe, like down at the bottom here is blocked, and up here does look more holy, right? It looks more crisp, and down here it's filling in a bit more. So I think there is a wee bit of change there.
Okay.
It does look a little fluffier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Than up here. So I will check my gauge. If I have to rip out because of gauge, I don't know. Then I don't know. It's all in the knitting of it that I'm being particular. Doesn't matter if it doesn't fit. That's strange.
That is.
I gotta work. I will check my gauge and hopefully it's right. And
maybe
if
I'll end up with a.
and there's always that. A 2 for 1. But yeah, so that's me. I just showed my strangeness,
really it's okay.
my underbelly. But yeah,
it's okay.
Is anybody out there like that too, where you're really particular?
Sure.
I'd love to hear.
Sure.
Yeah, or that you think I'm crazy. That's okay too. Yeah, I think I'm a little crazy for not knowing my gauge is good. Haven't gone to that much effort.
Yeah.
But one thing at a time. So.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we, Maggie?
We are. Why don't we go to Renee's segment?
Yes.
And hear all about Renee's knitting.
All right. Do you know what she's doing?
Renee has been working on. She started a new sweater for her mother, and she's working on a test knit that you won't want to miss.
Yes.
So enjoy Renee's segment, and we'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
Hello, Woolly Thistlers. My name is Renee. I'm coming to you for my monthly contribution to the Shopcast. Last time I was here, I had made a sweater for my dad out of Studio Donegal, soft Donegal. They're 100% merino. It has a beautiful tweed. You can go back and take a look at that if you would like. Well, my mom liked it so much that I wanted to surprise her with a sweater, so I did. I secretly let her pick out a pattern and a color that she liked, but she didn't know what I was doing. Maybe she did. Moms are pretty smart. But I made the Port sweater by Ozetta, and she picked out the Ripe Wheat Studio Donegal, soft Donegal, and I made this beautiful sweater. It has a tubular cast on and bind off. It has the 5-inch of ribbing down here at the bottom, and it's just gorgeous. I will see if I can get her permission, and we'll insert a photo right here of her wearing it. So I highly recommend. One of the skills that I had to do when I was making this sweater is to knit flat. So you're knitting back and forth here with the knits and the purls up here at the top. And I thought what I would do is kind of take this opportunity to explain to you how I learned how to do that with even tension. So first I'm going to show you the very first sweater that I ever made. This was before I even knew about the Woolly Thistle, but this is the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. And you can see here, oh my goodness, my tension is horrible. I can't wear this sweater. One day I'm going to take it apart and use the yarn maybe for something else, but we'll see. The tension is horrible, and the designer didn't tell you, hey, I mean, they assume that you're going to keep track of your gauge. I didn't know what I was doing, so I had to knit flat here with the knits and the purls. So when you're knitting a purl stitch the normal way, you know, wrapping it around, whatever, however you do it, it uses more yarn, and that's why it creates those bigger stitches, and so they call that rowing out, because one row is bigger than the other is the way I think of it. So what I did was I have a couple little videos here that I want to insert, and then we'll talk about it at the end. So here we are with a small stockinette swatch using Studio Donegal Soft Donegal in the color Ripe Wheat, and I'm using a size 9 needle, and you can tell on the back here that I've got some rowing out. My stitches are not even there. What I'm doing is using just regular knits and purls. So let me show you what that looks like here. As you purl knitting flat, if you just use a regular purl stitch, you're using up more yarn than necessary. So you have to be really careful with your stitches, your stitch size, and there's different techniques that you can use to keep your stitches even, looking the same, to keep your gauge correct. What I like to do is called combination knitting. And right now I'm going to show you what this looks like with just regular knits and purls, and then I'll show you how I clean this up. So that's my regular knits. You can tell there's rowing out. Those stitches are too big, and it's going to make my gauge wrong. Okay, as I continue to make my swatch, this is definitely unblocked, but you can tell the waviness, the unevenness here, and then how combination knitting really does make your back and forth flat knitting more uniform. As I turn this over, you will see the rowing out, which just means my row gauge is completely wrong because my stitches are too big. This was the regular purl stitch. Now let me show you how to do this. I've heard some people call it a backwards knit stitch. So what you do is you put your needle in the stitch, come behind your yarn, and pull it through. And then in, behind, pull it through. Put it in, behind, pull it through. And you're just going to do that all the way down the row. This will definitely even up your stitches. It gives less yarn to the purl stitch, so it makes it tighter. There is a little trick here that you need to know at the end of this row. So let me get to it and I will show you. So what that does is, in order to create the less stitch there, you have your knit stitch backwards. So I could pull this leg here in the front if I wanted to, and this is how a normal knit stitch would sit on your needle with that leg in the front. So I can just knit that, but all you have to do now is knit this in the back loop. And it's the exact same as a knit stitch. And you can tell that it really makes a nice uniform stitch to keep your gauge even. So, happy knitting! So now you've seen what I did. I was making a swatch, and here's the swatch. It's finished, it's blocked. And here at the bottom, this is Studio Donegal, their soft Donegal. You can really tell it on the front, it doesn't look that bad after blocking. Normally that doesn't block out, but if you turn it over on the back side here, you can really tell. This is the one that I did the rowing out on with the regular purl stitch, and this is the one where I did that combination knitting. So it really does tighten things up. It makes things look so nice. So I highly recommend. Now, if you're thinking about a beginner sweater, one of the things that I would do, this is a vanilla fluff. So the vanilla sweater, they offer a course with it. I would absolutely take the course. Corine guides you through how to do all these little things. So anyway, this is my vanilla fluff, and it is in colorway 4126. Finullgarn. It was a kit from the Woolly Thistle. And the plum is colorway 273. But I love it. It's the bracelet length. I wear it so it covers it doesn't go to my watch. So it's just a very nice basic sweater in my opinion. It's lightweight so I don't get too hot in the inside with the heat and things. Kind of going back to the combination knitting, I've learned to do that purl stitch with other things. So here's my colorwork socks, and I'm going to show you here at the top. I'm sure you can tell which one I did the combination knitting with the purl. So it might take a little bit of extra time, but it makes such a nice looking sock, doesn't it? This is my first sock that I did. And I've been blogging about them, so if you want to check out some more information, there is other blogs about this. I'm not going to go into the detail too much, but it was the Joyce socks from this book, 52 Weeks of Socks, Volume 2. They're by Charlotte Stone, who is a really well-known author of sock books and sock patterns, and I just love these. I wanted them to be for Valentine's Day, but I didn't get them done in time. And you can see this is where I was doing magic loop. I love magic loop. And then this is where I got my Chow-Goo shorties and started doing it in the round. This one was completely all in the round except for the cuff. So anyway, little tips and tricks that I learned along the way. Like I said, I put them in the blog there. So the next thing that I want to talk to you about is something else that I'm working on, and it is from another book. I told you I like books, but this is Knits to Wear. This is Veronica Lindberg. She also goes by Katova Kika, and she has a YouTube channel that I like to watch. But I like her patterns because they're just very simple designs, easy to make, at least for me. So this is... I'm using Rambler, and I'm using the Silk Mohair by BJ Bouche. So this is the colorway Blue Spruce, and this is Dark Blue Turquoise by BJ Bouche. And I'm making the back of a sweater. This is the top of it, and I'm going to go to 8.5 inches, and then I have to do another 8.5 inches, and then I will join them. So I'm kind of creating the yoke like this, front and back, which I've never done a construction like that before. So it's kind of neat. But I'm also using my combination knitting here with this, and you can see my stitches are just, they're very uniform. They just look so very nice. I'm sure the mohair helps fill that in a little bit, but anyway, just a nice looking sweater. So the last thing that I'm going to show you, and I know we're getting started with our shawl knit along, and we just did the sign-ups this week. We are still, as of this recording, we have two weeks and 2 days left of our color work accessories knit along. So I'm hoping that you're having fun with that. Behind the scenes of the Woolly Thistle, we have to think months in ahead. So I am doing a test knit for one of my favorite designers of all time, Gudrun, and Gudrun Johnston. It is going to be a little vest. So we're going to have our vest knit along here pretty soon. But look at these colors. She does things that I never would think of. She's just fantastic. And anyway, I hope you're with us for the vest knit along and the shawl knit along and finishing up the color work accessories. Have a good day.
Thank you for coming back, Renee. Thank you for your segment. You are an amazing knitter, and I can't wait for this vest from Gudrun that is going to be available in 2 colors. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Maggie, we have lots of books, I think, that have just come in.
We do have lots of books, but on top of the books, I think this is going live today, and this is really special. So I think because it's on top, let's talk about it first. These are so wonderful.
This is the Woolly Mammoth limited edition, which she kindly shares with us every once in a while. And this is lovely. What's in it, Maggie?
It is Zwartblaze and blue Texel yarn. 50% Zwartblaze, 50% blue Texel. natural, undyed. Look at that beautiful brown. It
It's
feels
soft.
so nice.
Yeah, it's soft, but it's crisp. It's
Yeah.
dry. I think it'll bloom, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's
really nice.
wonderful. I think this would make a lovely shawl.
Yes, it would. Or a
Emma-
sweater.
Emma knitted Dunrobin in this.
She held a
She
double,
held
right?
a double and knitted Dunrobin. I think we can put a picture
Oh,
here
fun.
of Emma and Woolly from Woolly Mammoth.
Thank you, Emma.
Um,
Yeah, so
really beautiful yarn.
it is lovely. It's got a nice sort of heathered effect, so it's not a solid brown, but it is brown, natural color, which is
Would be
gorgeous.
Really wonderful.
I think this would be lovely as a shawl or even a sweater. And this is a limited edition, so there's only a limited amount. And
I think if you can wear JNS next to skin or
Yeah.
Rauma next to skin, this is similar, comparable. I think you'd be okay.
I'd be fine.
Yeah, this is of course you'd be fine.
Always.
But it feels really, really woolly and wonderful, and
Yeah.
that deep chocolatey brown is lovely.
And it's from Northern Ireland.
So these are going live in the shop today. I believe it is a timed launch going live at noon.
Yes.
So
yes,
set
if you
your
want
clocks.
to push the boat out and do something a little special, we won't have this again for quite a while.
yeah,
So I would, if you're interested, set
tiny
your
bit
alarm.
of edge matter in there. I love it.
I know.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are really special. We're thankful to Emma for sharing them with us.
Yes, thank you, Emma. Now we have a stack of books.
We do have
here.
a stack of books. We have the latest issue from Lina arrived. This spring
really
issue.
pretty cardigan on the
It's a
front.
really pretty cardigan.
Yeah.
Very lacy and
Yeah.
lovely. And that's really pretty. Flecks of sunshine.
Yeah.
Their spring issue is always very popular and really delightful.
Yeah.
Hard to see that probably because it's dark colors. You can see it just fine in the print.
Yeah.
Cute little cardigan.
Little short sleeve.
Yeah, just a lovely
Really nice.
issue. Yeah.
So this is available now. It's
This
off
is available
pre-order,
now.
and we have it in stock
Yeah, and with this restock, we also got back in my knitting notes.
in a new cover.
They just released a little terracotta cover. And this book is lovely. It's just a really nice general way. It has some blank pages. It has some pages for you to keep notes on your projects, colors, yarns, where you got things.
Yep.
I like that it's not dated, so you can add the dates for when you started it and when you've done that. But,
Yeah. Yeah, it basically gives you lines for all the information, the designer, the color that you're
Right.
choosing. And then the page after that is blank,
Yeah.
so that you can draw any modifications or any sort of things you want to keep a lovely track of.
Yeah, you can even staple in your yarn labels with your dye lots.
Yeah,
and-
I've been watching Walgren Makes. She's a Swedish maker, and she draws her pictures of whatever she's knitting so beautifully, and I could see that happening in here. Walgren Makes, actually, check it out if you're interested. She podcasts in English. She's on YouTube, and she's just delightful. She's a weaver and a knitter, and she's knitting some Alice Starmore, so aspirational knits for sure. She says she likes tiny stitches on tiny needles, so she's out there. Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
check
I will
her
have
out.
to check her out.
yes.
Victorian cats. I don't know where your little kitty is.
He's in my office,
he's in
guarding
your
my office.
These are back in stock now.
Yeah.
These went very quickly because, like you, many of us would like to knit some Victorian cats.
Yes.
They're so cute.
Yes, and in fact, Rachel in her segment this week has knitted one of the free cats off of Ravelry. So check out Ravelry if you want to knit a free cat.
Yeah.
But there's so many
They
lovely,
really are.
and they all have stories. But it's such a pretty book.
It is a very pretty book.
And there's loads. Oh, I mean, look at that one playing
So
with the
cute.
kitten. Yeah, so this is a book just to have and enjoy as well with
Yeah.
kids, maybe as well. The cats themselves, to knit them, I think you do need a little bit of courage. I think you can knit them as a beginner, but you've got to be willing to take the leap and try, because it's not fully explained. She's not holding your hand. I think she does expect you to know a little bit what you're doing, but I think an adventurous beginner, which is what we all are, aren't we? I think we do fine.
Yeah.
But even if it just is for your own enjoyment, it's lovely. They have little stories and
Yeah.
things in there.
Wonderful.
This is Maggie's.
I know. The Gnomes of Grimblewood have arrived. This book is so cute. I know. Oh, absolutely adorable. There's a full spread in here of all of them.
Yeah.
It just makes you really want to knit them all.
Oh.
Look at that lineup.
Oh.
Oh, they're all so cute.
They
There's
really
one
are.
too that has pockets. Like you can kind of see on this back one, he's got pockets. But there's a photo on the inside where you can see he's got his little hands in the pockets. It's just really, really cute.
Are these easy to make, Maggie?
I think that they are. She even gives you instructions for feet. I don't think I've knit feet on any of my gnomes, but I will be. Yeah, he is. Here he is. Look at this guy. He's so cute. The pockets absolutely kill me. These are, I have found her patterns. This is by Sarah Skira. I don't know how you say her last name. My apologies. I have found her patterns to be quite easy to read. I haven't knit from the book yet, but her individual downloads on Ravelry, I've knit multiples, and they're very clear, very easy to understand. So I expect the book's going to be the same way.
Fantastic. I like this little guy down here.
Yeah, they're all really, really cute.
Well done.
I think skinny gnomes, chubby gnomes,
all the
gnomes are good gnomes.
Yes. Lovely.
So very, very cute.
Even this
I like the different beards.
Yeah.
Really cute.
All right.
Love them. So that is available now in the shop. The latest Lopi collection is here.
Yeah.
This book is amazing.
Spiral band note.
Yeah, it's spiral bound, so it lays flat. This is an extremely good value. It has so many patterns in it.
And do we have some of them here?
We do not. This is their latest book, so this is not part of our trunk show.
All right. We have a trunk show here right now, which is from book 40, I want to say.
Yes. So you get all of these patterns and all of these patterns. Like this is a really, really great value, and they're all really cute. You can see it's some housewares. It's some men's knits, some ladies' knits, some children's knits.
And this is brand new.
Yeah, this is their latest collection.
Oh, they got cats on there.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So cute. Just so cute. A little pillow.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, the table topper.
Yeah.
Jill likes that one too. We were chatting about that on last week. Yeah, I just love them all. Look at that. Just really nice.
You can't beat Lopi.
You can't.
Lopi forever. Yeah.
So these are available in the shop now.
Is that all our new books? That looks like
I think that is all of our new books currently.
Right.
We had a couple that came in on restock. 425 should be here by now.
Oh, we do have a new pre-order, Soothing Stitches Knits for a Quiet Mind. How many of us could use that? Maybe.
Yes, please.
And that includes 12 knitting patterns that encourage pause, grounding yourself, and finding moments of calm. And that's coming April 4th. So we have pre-orders open for that. So that is coming. Yay! All right. Well, let's pop these over there. And then do we want to talk about our new JC Rennie?
Yes.
So JC Rennie was included in our selection box at the end of last year, and people loved it, as they should, because it's good stuff. And so we've brought it in. We have it here, and we've got several colors for you to choose from. It's the super soft 4-ply, which is 100% wool, and the mill there is the oldest, if not, well, one of the oldest mills in Scotland. It's been going for a very long time, since the 1700s, I believe.
Yeah.
Really
established in 1798.
There you
Says so
go.
on the label.
Yeah. Older than after the French Revolution, I think. But right around then, I think that was 1792. So yes, so we've got it in. This wool is kind of sticky feeling. It's going to be great for color work. It's a fingering weight, or as they say, 4-ply.
Yeah. It is funny. I was chatting with one of our coworkers, Seth, and he was saying that it had arrived. He's like, it's super soft. And I was like, is that a joke? He was like, why? And I said, it's literally called super soft. He's like, and he just burst out laughing. He couldn't help himself.
He nailed it.
But it is adequately named. It is really lovely and soft. And this would make a great shawl.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It really
It would make great everything.
Yes.
And
Sweaters,
is this the
shawls.
palette that we have?
This is the palette that we have. So there's a bunch of naturals and neutrals here, and some colors there.
Got a couple more here.
Yes.
So yes, if you like this, we will continue to get more of it in. Oh my God, this color. Look at that green.
What a lovely pop of color.
This
Perfect for spring.
This one is Calypso. Shall we go through and name them?
Sure.
All right.
I will give you some of the naturals here. We've got Galaxy. This one, there's a lot of depth there, a lot of heathering.
This is Stonehenge, which in contrast to that one. Yeah.
Eclipse Blur.
Marzipan. Lovely.
Forest, which is a lovely green.
Nugget, which is a mustardy yellow.
This one is Autumn Crisp, which is like it's like a deep yellow.
Spice, very hot color.
I love this one, Charcoal. Can't go wrong with a deep gray.
I know. Orange Peel. Oh, it feels so good, doesn't it?
Oh, I love this one.
Very
Truffle.
woolly,
It's
very
a
woolly.
very deep brown. I'm in a brown phase.
Yeah. Bondi Blue or Bondi Blue, not sure.
And then a classic black.
Maggie, the hand on this, it's very woolly, isn't it?
It is.
I can't read this.
That one has duck egg.
Duck egg blue. Lovely.
And this one is pecan.
Salmon, which is
Nutmeg.
really
if you want to see
nice.
pecan and nutmeg together.
Oh, there's
Gives
quite a
you an
difference.
idea. Yeah.
And this here is Red Hot, which is actually more a dark red.
And then we just have a white and silver.
And
Really
Lavish Magenta, I would say. Lavish.
I love that one.
And Blaze, which is a little bit different from the Red Hot or whatever. A little
Yeah,
bit.
a little orangier.
Yeah, more brick. Yeah, so those are the colors we've got. I love them. I love them.
Yeah.
This would be very nice to knit with.
They're really lovely.
And just a little bit different and very traditionally Scottish. So we hope you enjoy those.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Maggie.
All right.
For fans of our Harris tweed bags, we have a huge order arriving very soon. It's on its way. And these are the zippered pouches, the small sort of sock bag, small project zipper pouches. And we have new colors in those coming, as well as some of the favorites coming back. We will be launching those on March 21st, so keep an eye out for them coming. We're very excited. It's been a long time since we had an order of those, and they're finally ready and on their way.
Yes, these are made especially for us.
Yep.
And we're really excited to have them. They are wonderful little project bags.
They are, and I have more than a few. So as you're getting ready for our next cal, which is the Shawl cal, maybe you're going to knit the All About the Ruffle with me and the Scottish Yarn Festival, or there are plenty of other kits to choose from. Maggie, you've got another design by Carolyn Holbrook right here.
Yes.
She's very smart. She sends us samples.
This is the Jenny Lake shawl, and it is knit with Mountain Meadow Cody.
Isn't it beautiful? Oh my
it's
gosh.
really
It's so,
beautiful.
this yarn
It
is
feels
so
so-
good in lace and texture.
It feels so bouncy and squishy.
Very pretty.
So the sample is knit in the light gray color. And so we do have kits available in that colorway. And we've also put a couple of kits together in other colorways. If you want a nice bright marigold, navy, very classic. This is their spruce colorway.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it's very squishy and
salmon.
soft.
I love
That
this
would be
color.
great, yes.
Teal.
Here's that flyaway.
Pasque flower, which is a lovely light purple, and pansy. So you can choose, it uses 5 skeins in whichever color you choose. We do have
Yes.
kits put together.
Good American yarn there.
It's just really, really lovely.
And it's got lovely stitch definition. I'm really quite taken by that. And it's
Yeah.
got a lot of spring, a
Yeah.
lot of bounce. So really nice. So we have
Yes,
that.
just really wonderful. So those kits are available now.
Okie dokie. We don't have samples, but we can put pictures here, and we can show you some colorways. The Lanai
This one.
shawl is a Natasha Hornsby mosaic knits, And we have kits in these 3 colors here.
Yeah.
Which I think would look
So
amazing.
this is one kit.
Right.
That uses those 3
Use
colors.
3 colors.
And that is the Starlit Garden colorway.
All right.
This one we're calling the Rose Eclipse colorway.
For what shawl?
For the Lunai.
Oh, the Lanai as well.
Yeah, it uses those.
Yeah.
Thought you'd like that.
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
Yeah, so that kit is available in the shop.
And then
Then that one is the Kodachi shawl.
does
This
it use
shawl
all these
looks
colors?
no, so it is a solid color shawl.
Right.
It's got lovely lace. We can put a picture here. And
So it comes in any of these colors?
So yeah, we've put kits together in those colors.
You can get a kit in this lovely, and it's in Brisca, which is what I'm knitting with right now. This is B581. And this here is C579, gorgeous color. This is C570, and it's a nice green.
They changed their labels, so you've got to look different places.
B568, lovely blue on gray, and then a nice dark black is 16B.
Go with everything.
Yes, and then 15A is sort of a lilac on gray, really lovely.
Yeah.
But your sister would like this.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's coming soon, or that's here now actually.
Yeah,
and then we have another Haven shawl.
So the Haven shawl is a Sori Norland design, and it is knit with Tuku fingering held with mohair. So we've put together, Tuku has released their own mohair that they sell
Which
now.
is doing great.
Which is really lovely.
Yeah.
So we've put together H27 with color 727 mohair. These work really nice together.
If you want a nice beige neutral, we've got color 708 and 08 together. Are these kits? So these are kits, so you don't need to worry too much.
So yes, we calculated how much fingering and how much mohair you need, and you can just get your kit. Isn't that lovely?
Wow, that is lovely for an evening out.
Yes, and then 740 and color 40.
Lovely.
Yes, just really nice.
Really nice. All right.
All right.
I think that's all we have to show.
To participate in the Cal, you're certainly welcome to buy a kit. We've done all the work for you. Or you can knit any shawl of your choosing.
Yeah.
Just always good to clarify. We always get questions.
Yes. So kits or, stash busting, I would just ask that it be Woolly Thistle stash. Because it's the Woolly Thistle knit along, so that sort of makes sense.
Yes.
So I hope you join us. It's been a while since I knit a shawl. I'm ready for it. And hopefully you will enjoy that too. And what's nice is gauge doesn't matter so much. It's sort of a rest. It's a lovely sort of palette cleanser to knit a shawl. Although you can get as complicated as you want with lace and things. So.
We have another winner.
Let's announce another winner.
Our second winner today of a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle is at Carrie James 381, and Carrie says, I like the Insight Kelsey segment brought into focus.
Yes.
And I really appreciate not comparing ourselves to each other.
Yes.
It's about the joy of knitting. Thanks for another great episode.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. And I totally agree. Kelsey's
that was a great
segment was
great article or segment.
Carrie, if you can email us at info@thewoollythistle.com, put prize winner in all caps, and we will get you your $25 gift card.
Yay! And if you would like to be in the running yourself, all you need to do is leave us a comment down below, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. And you too are in the running to be picked at random by Caitlin as a winner and announced here on the show next time. Just a last word on dolly mixtures. Our order from Shetland Islands, the Jameson and Smith, has just been taking such a long time. I think it's finally gone through Aberdeen. It was really, I think they've been having weather and all kinds of stuff. So it's finally on its way, and I'm hoping that it'll be here very soon.
Yeah, it
so
should be.
that
It's now moving.
It is now moving, so it should be here anytime. It's a big order, and so yes, we'll have it in the shop just as soon as we can, and then the dolly mixtures will populate if you're so interested in knitting that. Okay then, so
it occurs to me we did not talk at all about
we
what
should
our
mention
bouncer
that.
here is wearing. So this is part of the loopy trunk show that we're currently loopy. I am a little loopy today. The loopy trunk show that we're currently hosting here in the shop. This comes from book 41 It is the Reese sweater, and we will have kits for this. This is a lovely vest.
It's literally, I think
yeah,
it's
you can
steeked. Is it
see-
steeked?
It does look like it is.
So you knit it in the
steeked.
round and then you cut up both sides and then lay it flat. So it's sort of...
Yeah, and the pattern actually calls for you to knit a band here with einband. And you
cover
fold
your
it down.
steek.
It is really, really lovely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. In fact, when that came in, I tried it on and felt very...
I think a couple of us have tried it on and we all really like it.
Really, really liked wearing it.
Yeah.
It's got a nice neckline.
We are working on putting kits together for this, but we actually didn't carry this color of einband, but as soon as that comes in, you'll be able to get kits in the shop.
Hooray. Well, that's good. Well, Maggie, I think that's all we have for today. I think all that's left to say is, first of all, we'll have Rachel from Fair Isle.
Stay tuned.
We'll have Rachel from Fair Isle. But other than that, if you go out,
take your knitting.
Bye.
Hello, Woolly Thistlers. It's Rachel from Barkland Croft here in Fair Isle. I hope you're all keeping well, and I hope that your winters haven't been too severe. Well, February has actually, for once, been a fairly mild month for us here in Fair Isle. It's very possibly the mildest winter so far that I've experienced in the 10 years I've been here, so definitely not complaining at all. And as you can see here, Nieva decided to come for a run with me around the fields when I was out checking the fields one morning, and I think she was definitely excited to be out in some decent weather, even though it was a little bit blustery for her. Teresa decided to try out a DIY mud pack, although I'm not sure she was totally convinced by the final result. We really have had some absolutely beautiful days of weather. Clear blue skies, sunshine, fairly mild temperatures as well. It has been so nice, let me tell you. And just look at these clear evenings that we've had as well. And what about those colours in the sky? Absolutely stunning. Checking the fences on the east cliffs one day, and I spotted quite a few sheep. These are the hill sheep that can sort of roam freely, and it always amazes me and slightly scares me as well that they go so far down the cliffs to try and get some grass. I always think they must have mountain goat ancestry in them. And you might be able to just make out on that far cliff face over there. There's a couple of sheep down there as well. Thankfully, they always seem to get themselves back up to the top. I spotted my first crocus of the year, which was lovely to see, and not long after it was joined by some friends, although sadly they're now getting battered by gales. Here's Taffy saying hello to her half-brother Sage. So they both have the same daddy, that's Busby. And here's Plink going to say hello to Sage. Hello, you my brother? My knees have been nice and warm of an evening as all three cats have started coming into the living room to cuddle up on me. And Ruffalo wants you to know she's been very busy helping me do my work. So here she is trying to tell me that she wants to come up to use the laptop apparently. So normally what happens is she makes herself comfortable and I just have to sort of work around her. And here she is helping me with some research reading. Patchwork has definitely been enjoying the good weather. And she wants to say a big hello to you all. And my plants inside the house are starting to get little flowers on them, which is lovely to see. Even the ivy's getting some lovely new bright green leaves on it. It was a lovely day for mucking out the byre. Plenty of sunshine, so the stalls dried out nice and quickly. And the sheep always like it when they get fresh straw down. They like to spread it around and munch on it. There's Taffy. That's one of the hill sheep. There's Sandy. That's Taffy and Plink's mum, and that's Plink in the background there. Don't think he wants to be on camera, he's hiding. There we go. And with the good weather, I decided to see how the plants that have been overwintering here have been doing, and I was really surprised. I'd already got some mint growing and my rhubarb's growing, so definitely about time to get those out into the open air and give them a water. And there's Sparky trying to eat everything in sight. Well, you're probably sick of me sharing videos of horizontal rain or snow or being buffeted in gale force winds, so here's a real treat of some blue skies and sunshine in February. And what a day this was to end the month on. I had a very sad day in February as I had to say goodbye to Baba. She was one of my super ancient girls. She was here when I took over the croft 10 years ago, so she must have been at least 13 or 14. So a very grand old age indeed, but she'll certainly be sorely missed by all of her friends here and by me. Bye bye, sweet Baba. And on a slightly more cheerful note, I saw that the designer of the Victorian House Cats book that Corinne shared in the last Shopcast episode has got a couple of free cat patterns on her Ravelry page, so I decided to knit one, and I think Ruffalo approves of it. It still needs its front paws on and a face putting on, but a very cute knit. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to is that I've been asked by Shetland Textiles Network to give a speech as part of their Textiles and the Environment event on the 15th of March. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the weather will stay good enough to allow me to fly out for that to Shetland. and hopefully I'll be able to report back to you in my next video. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this little look at what's been happening here in Fair Isle over the last month. Bye for now.